Thank you so much, Anant, for that. As we start off, just wanted a little show of hands. How many of us enjoyed a nice bath, a shower bath, this morning before we landed up? No, not this side, I guess. Okay, all the hands are up. It's so difficult for us to imagine that maybe not very much in the future and in our own lifetimes, maybe just 10 to 15 years from now, if reputed research publications are to be believed, we may just be having about 50% of our fresh water needs. As urban folks, our fresh water needs seem to be more linked to our shower and having a chilled water in the hot Delhi summers and so on. But every drop of water counts, and the story of water management cannot be told without the story of agriculture, because agriculture is really where water comes into play, and all our lives are interlinked in some form or the other. What we eat and tomorrow what we drink and how we shower is all influenced by certain decisions and choices that we all make today. And I think that is a very important part as we look at the title of the conclave, also uncharted waters, that it is, we really don't know what lies ahead of us. And I think it's always wiser to be a little prudent than to be extravagant at this particular stage. I would like to recognize two very important people who have taken this thought forward. And unfortunately, both of these people are not in the room today. One is Srini, who is the chief of Wilgrow, and the other is my predecessor, Reshma Anand, who together led their teams in crafting this particular program of Wilgrow, which was supported very strongly by the Hindustan Unilever Foundation, with the singular belief that fresh thinking, fresh ideas, and certainly new cutting-edge startup kind of technologies are what will make a big difference in finding some big solutions. I think they were extremely aware that by definition, all startup ideas do not succeed. But you do not need 1 million successes. You need maybe a handful, 2, 3, 4, 5 to really work, and that can transform the world. In all our daily habits, different forms of technology have transformed our lives. The most common being, of course, when we look at our mobile phones, and if you look at the journey in the last 20 years, where the mobile phone technology is left and how it has changed each of our lives. Words like OTP, none of us had heard of 15, 20 years ago. Today, you can't think of a life without an OTP. Similarly, somebody thought of that, somebody cracked it, and that is how this has worked through. As Hindustan Unilever Foundation, which represents a core interest of Hindustan Unilever's commitment to water, one point I'd like to leave behind with all of you is that it is not for us just a CSR commitment. Indeed, the foundation predates the CSR Act. So even if the CSR Act had not come into play, Hindustan Unilever had already committed itself to helping find sustainable long-term solutions for water. And we've been privileged to have a partner like Wilgrow, which has its entire ecosystem of startups which it's able to incubate. And we, from the foundation, are privileged to have a very rich set of partners, many of whom are in the room today in different parts of the country. So where the startup idea can be taken and tested robustly with the real life experiences on the farm and on the field. After all, that is where the rubber meets the road. Together with Wilgrow, we've been able to add method, rigor, and processes into how this is monitored and how it goes forward. We've had the privilege of associating organizations like Google in conducting hackathons so that the best of the ideas can be bubbled up, which can at least be put through the funnel for proper incubation. So we do not necessarily need 100 million success stories. We need few which will work, which is what we can take forward. And I think the richness of today is in the range of stakeholders who are in this room. We have policy influencers, policy makers, farmers, startups, the bridges like civil society who are there. And I think it will be an extremely rich morning for all of us to dwell on some of these matters from different perspectives, including getting to interact informally over the teas and the lunch breaks. Thank you very much, Wilgrow, for putting this together, getting this whole spectrum of people, an unusual spectrum of people to have in this room. And we, as Hindustan Unilever Foundation, stay committed to helping find the solutions for water, and we will do whatever we can to help aid this process. Thank you very much, and wish you a very productive and a fruitful set of discussions through this conclave. Thank you so much.
I would like to thank Anant and Shraman both for sharing with us the thoughts behind this AG Water program. And as Anant said in his opening remark, that it's not only about innovation, finding innovation, but also finding adaptation. That has been a hallmark of this program. And as Shraman said, that I really like that when he said that we don't need millions of success stories. We need few success stories which can be scalable and which can make a difference to take things forward. Thank you so much. I think we have a small video to be played in the inaugural session. Can we have the video on screen, please?
India is facing a severe water scarcity problem. If we continue to consume water at current rates, we will have half the water we need by 2030. Agriculture accounts for 80% of our freshwater use, and we use almost twice the amount to grow 1 unit of food as compared to other countries.
So water is a very complex problem and needs a multi-stakeholder approach to solve it. We've seen that water technologies, even if the technology per se is great, farmer adoption is very low. And so what we wanted to do through this program was to bring on board multiple stakeholders who could help solve it together.
HUF is trying to address this problem via a two-pronged approach. One is to create scientific and context-appropriate water conservation solutions. And secondly, to drive behavior shift amongst usage of water in agriculture.
The Ag Water program is first of its kind, focused on incubating innovative, water-efficient solutions in agriculture that can scale sustainably.
We wanted to provide mentorship and timely support to these early-stage founders to grow their business, and also make these technology solutions accessible to the actual farmers and agri-extension service providers on ground.
In 3 years, we looked at over 3,500 startups to identify the 9 most impactful solutions.
The social enterprises were at very different stages of their solutions, in very different domains, categorized into 3 cohorts. The first cohort focused on technology-led solutions that enable efficient use of water in agriculture. The second cohort looked at solutions that provide market access, incentivizing farmers to grow water-efficient crops. The third focused on testing and validating ideas of early-stage innovators. One of the most successful pilots from the program was when Cultivate's precision irrigation solution was taken to the paddy farmers in Punjab.
Our entire focus is basically how can we enable the farmer with a low-cost technology, help him make informed decisions knowing what is the crop demand for what. So if he is able to provide the precise irrigation on a timely basis, it can reduce his expenses.
Finding the right solution, bringing it to the field is the first part. But the real question is, how do we get it adopted by farmers?
So that's where this support from partnership with CIPT came very handy. Farmers got an opportunity to touch, feel and sense, okay, what is this technology that we are talking?
Startups rarely get the opportunity to have honest feedback from a large number of farmers on their technology, which then helps them iterate. We saw this project reach 200 farmers covering more than 200 acres of paddy fields and saving 18 crore litres of water. And this is just the beginning.
Our next enterprise, Kritsnam, took interest in the program as they were looking to build a sustainable business model.
Creating an impact and being financially viable are two different arms for a social startup like us. HUF Will Grow Association did really help us in balancing these two arms correctly in going in the right path to meet our vision.
So through their diagnostic panel and through the incubation that followed, we identified that what would be important for their long-term survival would be for them to also have B2B operations.
There were stages where we hardly had any revenue for a period of almost 6 months. So this mentorship program started pushing us more towards some monthly run rate. We were able to get our product more ready for a specific market on the groundwater management in a very record time, and we were the first and only organization in the country to achieve that.
An example of the potential impact comes from a project with the Karnataka government on the Tungabhadra left bank canal, deploying 70 sensors across 7,000 hectares land area.
The more the data we actually start working on, the better the visibility on the usage of the water resources, the better the adoption and the better the consciousness we are able to achieve in the customer's mind that we are using this much water data.
We also wanted to identify and promote startups which were led by women founders.
Many times the interactions with Will Grow and the HUF team was more about having conscious customers, how to grow more with the existing customers, and the team was always particular about the sustainability element that we were working on. So mentorship helped us structure the company without compromising on any of our ethos.
Encouraging paddy farmers to switch to water-efficient horticulture crops and adopt natural farming practices. The program got Archana thinking about systems, people, and how to scale.
There were two key systems we were wanting to build. One is able to see the demand of what is needed so that the production can be streamlined, and second, the payments and all of the financial things had to go through one particular system. So in fact, the need for an inventory came while figuring out both of these.
வாங்க நாங்கள் உங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுறோம். உங்களுக்கு தேவையான பூச்சி வெரைட்டி, உங்களுக்கு தேவையான அட்வைஸு, உங்களுக்கு தேவையான எல்லாமே நாங்கள் பண்ணுறோம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஃபஸ்ட்டு ஒருத்தர் எடுத்து பண்ணோம். அவர் ரொம்ப சக்ஸஸ் ஆச்சு. அதுலேருந்து எல்லாம் நம்மளை பார்த்து நம்ப ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. அதனால் இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நம்மக்கிட்ட இந்த வில்லேஜில் மட்டும் நம்மக்கிட்ட கூட டைப் பண்ணி பண்ணுறதுக்கு 100 பேர் ரெடியாக இருக்காங்க.
So even when we talk to investors, I think they have more trust in the data that we talk rather than giving intuition-based, gut-based decisions today.
So through this program, we have identified, accelerated, and supported the scale-up of some of the most prominent startups shaping water use in India today.
This program is the first step in uncharted territories, and they are keen on working towards reducing pressure on land and water systems and making smallholder farmers climate resilient.
Impact has been made by the AG Water program by Will Grow and Hindustan Unilever Foundation. Wonderful video, great insights. And as Shraman and Anand has said, that a lot of innovators are sitting here, and not only the innovators, the beneficiaries are also here. So you all can interact with them and go deep into what kind of innovation being done by them.